our headlines for tonight. The Philippine National Police denies coup against Marcos's administration.
Senator Jinggoy Estrada files perjury case against DPWH engineer Bryce Hernandez over the flood control anomaly claims.
President Marcos appoints Justice Secretary Boying Remulla as new ombudsman.
The Philippines' inflation rate slightly increases to 1.7% on September.
The International Criminal Court convicts Sudanese militia leader over war crimes and crimes against humanity. Good evening, bring the latest news for tonight. I am ALVIN PELOBELLO.
And I am KRIZZA Lopez. This is Eurotv News. Thread the details on our broadcast. The Philippine National Police has denied rumors of a coup against President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., asserting that the force remains loyal and united under his leadership.
Acting PNP Chief Melencio Nartates emphasized there is no reason to withdraw support as the President himself is addressing the corruption. Henry Nicolas has the report.
The state of morale remains high in the Philippine National Police and coup d'etat is not necessary to withdraw support from President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. This was emphasized by Acting PNP Chief General Melencio Nartates following speculations of a coup against President Marcos in relation to the ongoing corruption in the country, particularly concerning flood control projects. Nartates pointed out that Marcos himself is initiating investigations into the anomalies and the PNP sees no reason to withdraw their support. The acting chief stressed there is no basis to remove the president who won by a majority vote from the Filipino people. He added that no one, specifically the commanders and regional directors, has approached him about the matter, and if anyone did, he would discourage them from doing it. In a separate statement, the Alyansa ng Bantay sa Kapayapaan at Demokrasya supported the PNP's firm stand amid speculations aimed at sowing division and questioning their loyalty. According to ABKD Chairman Dr. Jose Antonio Guisha, the President's trust in the current PNP leadership, which upholds order and integrity, is justified. Guisha urged the public to support the police force instead of casting doubt on them. Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro also reiterated that the ranks of the Armed Forces of the Philippines and PNP will remain loyal to the Constitution. Castro expressed the President's confidence in their competence and fidelity to their sworn duty.
Kahit naman po before pa September 21 ay mayroong mga maliliit na grupo na nagsasuggest ng ganito. Pero according nga po kay General Browner at General Narteza, ay mananatili po silang loyal sa konstitusyon at sa chain of command. So walang dapat pong ipag-alala ang taong bayan patungkol po dito.
The AFP also called the allegations dangerous information, saying it remains loyal to the Constitution and will follow the chain of command. On the part of the PNP, Nartates maintained that there was no need for a loyalty check. This is Henry Nicolas for Eurotv News.
Following the resignation of Senate President Pro Tempore Ping Lacson as the chairperson of the Blue Ribbon Committee due to the feedback he received from colleagues, Senate President Tito Soto has revealed several names from the majority group to replace Lacson, which will be finalized after the caucus. More from this report.
Senate
be sent named for the replacement for Senate President Pro Tempore Ping Lacson as chairperson of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee. Among those mentioned by Soto were Senators Joseph Victor Ejercito, Rafi Tulfo, Francis Kiko Pangilinan, Pia Cayetano, and Riza Hontiveros, one of whom may soon take over the position vacated by Lacson. The Senate President said the selection of the next chairperson may be finalized during the major caucus scheduled on Wednesday. However, Senator J.V. Ejercito declined the position, citing his own limitations in leading such an important Senate committee. He explained that there are other senators more capable of managing the Blue Ribbon Committee. Last Monday, Lacson's resignation letter as committee chair was formally received by the Senate President. In his letter, Lacson stated some of his colleagues' disappointment over the direction of the ongoing investigation into alleged irregularities in flood control projects. Despite stepping down, Lacson stood firm in his commitment to continue his fight against corruption in government. Insert resignation here. During a Senate briefing on Monday, Senate President Soto admitted that it would be difficult to match Lacson's leadership in the committee, adding that even Lacson himself was frustrated with recent developments.
Nag-hearing siya, may umaangal. Bakit nag-hearing? Pag hindi siya nag-hearing, may umaangal. Ba't hindi nag-hearing? Ano ba talaga? Diba? So, and then I think the way he ran the Blue Ribbon Committee hearings were very good.
This is KRIZZA Lopez for Eurotv News.
Malacanang brush off Senator Alan Peter Cayetano's call for a snap election and mass resignation of officials, calling it as a mere wishful thinking as President Marcos remains focused on the aiding Filipinos affected by the recent calamities. Mia Layagin has more.
Wishful thinking and personal desire. This is how Presidential Communications Office Undersecretary and Palace Press Officer Attorney Claire Castro described the recent sentiments of Senate Minority Leader Alan Peter Cayetano into urging resignation of national government officials and conduct of snap elections. Castro emphasized that the President has no time to deal with these kinds of political theatrics as he is focused in responding to Filipinos affected by the recent calamities in the country.
At wala po tayong panahon na pag-isipang malaliman ang mga personal desires ng sino mang public servants. Abala po ang Pangulo sa pagtatrabaho, abala sa pagtulong sa mga nasalanta ng lindol at bagyo. So wala pong oras ang Pangulo sa ganitong klaseng pamumulitika.
Cayetano recently recommended that officials resign from their posts to give way for a clean slate government and bring back public's trust towards the government. Meanwhile, House Minority Leader Marcelino Libanon believes otherwise, saying that a constitutional amendment would be a better solution. Libanon then recommended that maybe it is the right time to change the constitution itself to prevent corruption in the government. However, Malacanang also dismissed the suggestion, saying that as of now, the president is not in favor of changing the constitution.
Marami pong paraan para po marisolba ang ganitong klaseng korupsyon. Marami na pong batas na maaaring gamitin kung susunod lamang ang mga public officials na. Dapat na lamang po ito ay enforce, i-implement, sundin ng ating mga public servants at public officials. Hindi po siguro nararapat sa ngayon ang constitutional change. Ang kailangan ay change of attitude ng mga officers at change of heart. Maging maka-Pilipino, maging maka-bayan.
This is Mia Layagin for Eurotv News.
Due to the alleged false statement by Bryce Hernandez, who accused Senator Jinggoy Estrada of receiving 30% kickbacks, the senator has brought the issue to the proper court by filing a perjury case against Hernandez. Vanessa Cleofas tells us more.
Senator Jinggoy Estrada has filed a perjury case against former DPWH Bulacan 1st District Assistant Engineer Bryce Hernandez at the Quezon City Prosecutor's Office. This is in connection with Hernandez's testimony during a hearing of the House Infrastructure Committee last September regarding alleged irregularities in flood control projects. Estrada was among the individuals named by Hernandez as supposedly receiving kickbacks from this project. Hernandez also claimed that the senator allegedly allocated 355 million worth of projects in which the supposedly had a 30% commitment. Estrada, however, said Hernandez's testimony was purely meant to defame him, citing inconsistencies in his explanations during the hearing. Estrada also believes that he was singled out by Hernandez because he is an easy target given the controversies he had previously faced. The senator filed 4 counts of perjury against Hernandez, who is currently under the Witness Protection Program of the Department of Justice or DOJ. It's worth noting that prior to filing the complaint, Estrada had already denied the allegations and any involvement in the anomalous flood control projects. This is Vanessa Cleofas for Eurotv News.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Tuesday officially appointed Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Remulla as the new Ombudsman of the Philippines. Presidential Communications Office confirmed in a statement Remulla's appointment in the post, replacing former Ombudsman Samuel Martinez, whose term ended last July. Remulla was the pick of the president among 17 applicants for the post. As the new ombudsman, Remulla is expected to uphold transparency and anti-corruption drive of the government, as well as ensure fairness and justice. The Office of the Ombudsman is the main body tasked to investigate and prosecute public officials who will be involved with graft and corruption issues. Before his new post, Remulla served as the Secretary of the Department of Justice since 2022. On the other hand, Undersecretary Attorney Frederick Vida was announced to be DOJ's acting officer in charge following Remulla's reinstatement.
Only 4 out of 1,300 infrastructure projects were awarded to Discayas in Quezon City after observing the required legal processes and timeframes. All 4 projects were formally canceled last September 2025. Catherine Landicho tells us more.
The Quezon City government has clarified that only 4 out of more than 1,300 infrastructure projects awarded since July 2019 were granted to companies linked to Discaya or their joint ventures, accounting for just 3% of the city's total projects. These clarifications come in response to Board Resolution number 075, series of 2025 issued by the Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board or PCAB on September 1, 2025, which officially revoked the licenses of companies reconnected or connected to Discaya. This was followed by the cancellations of their registrations in the PhilGAP's due violations of licensing requirements and procurement laws. Following the resolution, the Quezon City government immediately conducted a comprehensive review of all ongoing infrastructure projects. Through this review, 4 projects were identified to be associated with Discaya-linked companies are construction of a 6-story multipurpose building, construction of a reinforced concrete canal in Imitaño Creek, construction of Housing 32, Balingasa high-rise housing in Barangay Balingasa, and construction of Housing 32 Balingasa high-rise housing Phase 2 in Barangay Balingasa. According to the city government, after observing the required legal process and timeframes, all 4 projects were formally cancelled on September 19, 2025. The Quezon City government emphasized its continued commitment to transparent and lawful procurement processes, which include competitive bidding, public disclosure, and online posting of project details on its official website. The city also strongly condemned any malicious allegations, which it says are merely attempts to divert attentions away from those truly involved in the deceptive practices that victimize both the city and the nation. This is Catherine Landicho for Eurotv News.
Amidst the weather disturbances entering the Philippine area of responsibility, the Philippine inflation in September rose to 1.7% due to high costs in the transportation and food sectors. Here's my report.
The country's inflation rate slightly accelerated to 1.7% in September, driven mainly by higher prices in the transport and food sectors. According to PSA National Statistician and Civil Registrar General Undersecretary Claire Dennis Mapa, the weekly increase in petroleum prices, particularly in gasoline and diesel, was the main factor behind the uptick in inflation. The transport sector contributed 71.3% to the overall movement of inflation in September. This was followed by food and non-alcoholic beverages, which also registered significant price hikes. PSA data showed that the prices of vegetables, root crops, and others went up, with tomatoes recording one of the highest increases. The slower decline in the prices of cereals and cereal products, particularly rice, also contributed to the rise in inflation. The third biggest contributor was the increase in prices of restaurant and accommodation services. Mapa explained that the primary reason for the increase in food prices was the impact of recent typhoons that hit the country in past months.
Ng Setyembre sa vegetables, tubers, cooking bananas, 19.4, and this is highest in January, which was recorded at 20.1%. Ang ating nakita talaga itong mga pag-ulan at pagbaha, particularly doon sa mga vegetable producing provinces natin. So may impact ito noong August at itong Setyembre.
The inflation rate for vegetables jumped to 19.4% from 10%, while prices of meat slightly eased to 6% from 7.1%. Meanwhile, the price of rice continued to decline slowly, posting a negative 16.9% inflation rate, down from negative 17%. According to Department of Economy, Planning and Development or DepDev Secretary Arceo Balisacan, the slight uptick in inflation reflects how domestic food prices remain vulnerable to supply disruptions. He said the government continues to coordinate with agencies to keep food prices stable, ensure affordability, and protect warehouses amid calamities. This is KRIZZA Lopez for Eurotv News.
The Land Transportation Office has granted a 15-day extension for vehicle registration, driver's license renewal, and traffic apprehension cases processing, giving motorists more time to comply following recent calamities and office disruptions. Mia Layagin returns.
The Land Transportation Office announced on Tuesday the extension of the validity of vehicle registration as well as driver's license renewal. In an advisory, LTO noted that the validity of vehicle registration, which expired last September, is extended until October 15, 2025. For driver's licenses, which expired on September 30, LTO also granted a 15-day extension for the renewal period without penalties or fines. Meanwhile, the agency also extended for 15 days the processing of traffic apprehension cases, which expired on September 26 until October 15 as well. LTO emphasized that these extensions is in consideration to the motorists who were not able to renew their registrations and licenses due to recent cancellation of government office operations. This will also grant more time for motorists and for the public, particularly those affected by the consecutive typhoons as well as the magnitude 6.9 earthquake in Cebu. This is Mia Layagin for Eurotv News.
Newly elected Party List Coalition President and TGP Party List Representative Jose Monteves Jr. has vowed to restore public trust in the Party List system, urging his fellow lawmakers to stay true to their advocacies and work together in addressing national issues. More from this report.
Ako po ay humihingi ng kapatawaran sa ating mga mamamayang Pilipino, sa ating mga kapapilipino. Kung nakikita nyo na nagkaroon po ng problema ang kasamahan namin na miyembro sa party list. Pero hanggang ngayon po ay hindi pa naman po sila nahuhusgahan. Pero ano man ang mangyari o nangyari, hindi po lahat na ganun klase ang lahat na party list members. Tandaan po ninyo, nandito po kami para maglingkod sa aming mga nasasakupan.
This is the call of newly elected Portales Coalition Foundation Incorporated President, House Deputy Majority Leader and TGP Portales Representative Jose Bong Teves Jr. to Filipinos who have doubts about the Portales system in the country. Teves said he wants to restore the people's trust in the Portalists who hold positions in the Congress. For the 20th Congress, Teves was appointed as president of the PCFI, replacing former Ako Bicol Portales Representative Saldico in the position. Teves said that amid calls to abolish the Portales system, he is encouraging Portales members in the Congress to return and remain in the advocacy that their sectors represents.
Mababa ang pagtingin. Yung iba nga, pinupus tayo na i-abolish na ang party list system. Kaya ngayon, tulad ng sinasabi ko sa ating mga kapwa members ng party list, bumalik tayo sa basic. Kung ano ang nire-represent mo na sektor, balikan mo sila at kausapin mo sila at ipakita mo na talagang hindi sila nagkamali ng pagpili sa iyo bilang representative ng sektor na ginagampanan mo dito sa Kongreso.
Amid the ongoing investigation into the country's anomalous flood control project, Teves called on the members of Portales Coalition to intervene in the nation's issues and should work together for the government programs and should prioritize to serve the Filipinos.
Sasama kami. At kung kinakailangan, sumabay kami for the aid of legislation sa pag-imbestiga ng mga nagkakaroon ng problema sa gobyerno. Hindi po kami mananahimik. Hindi po kami magbibingi-bingihan. Kami po ay susuporta sa programa at gustong mangyaring investigasyon ng ating Pangulo.
Calls for mass resignations have also surfaced in the Senate, which could potentially result in a snap election. But according to the lawmaker, the upper chamber of Congress's action must be in accordance with the Constitution.
Hindi natin sila kinukontra. Pero ang tanong dyan, ito ba ay naaayon sa saligang batas? Kung hindi naman, bakit natin pag-aaksayan ng panahon para pag-usapan ito?
As a new leader of the Portales Coalition, the lawmaker also assured that each member of the coalition will be able to provide assistance to Filipinos. Currently, the Portales Coalition has more than 60 members, including the members of the minority bloc in the lower chamber who have expressed support for Teves's leadership. This is ALVIN PELOBELLO for Eurotv News.
San Simon, Pampanga Mayor June Punsolan Jr. faces a 60-day suspension issued by the Office of the Ombudsman. This is in connection with his alleged involvement in a graft and extortion case. More from Shai Morales.
The Office of the Ombudsman has ordered a 6-month preventive suspension without pay for San Simon, Pampanga Mayor Abundio June Punsolan Jr. over graft and extortion charges. Punsolan's camp earlier pleaded not guilty and claimed that the accusations were politically motivated. Aside from the case filed by Real Steel Corporation, the National Bureau of Investigation also submitted 2 administrative cases against him. To recall, Punsolan was arrested in an entrapment operation last August 5 in Clark, Pampanga, along with 3 security aides and Dr. Ed Ryan Dimla, who was caught receiving 30 million pesos from the company. This was allegedly part of the 18 million pesos the mayor demanded from the company to continue its operations without interference of the local tax incentives. This is Shai Morales for Eurotv News.
A university in Eastern Visayas suspended classes and ordered the immediate disinfection of the schools after a student was suspected of being infected with hand, foot, and mouth disease. Vanessa Cleophas returns.
The Eastern Visayas State University or EVSU main campus is currently undergoing extensive disinfection following a confirmed case of hand, foot, and mouth disease or HFMD. According to a report from the school, 1 student was confirmed to have contracted HFMD and showed symptoms of the illness, prompting the suspension of face-to-face classes. The university shifted to online and asynchronous classes for 5 days from October 6 to October 10. Disinfection has already begun in classrooms, faculty offices, laboratories, restrooms, and other areas in the school that are frequently used by students. The 5-day implementation of blended learning is a precautionary measure to ensure that students as well as teaching and non-teaching personnel are safe from the risk of infection before returning to the face-to-face classes. The school also aims to eliminate any remaining bacteria in the facilities that could potentially spread the disease. EVSU has encouraged everyone to practice proper hygiene and immediately consult health authorities if they experience symptoms of hand, foot, and mouth disease. The university also stated that it is continuously coordinating with appropriate authorities, particularly the Department of Health or DOH, to prevent the spread of the infection. This is Vanessa Cleofas for Eurotv News.
Taguig City Government is intensifying its quick response during the disasters and calamities as several barangays receive mini fire trucks and equipment from the LGU. Catherine Landicio tells us more.
The local government of Taguig City has reinforced their emergency response capabilities by adding fire trucks and equipment. The local government of Taguig has reinforced its emergency response capabilities by distributing 10 mini fire trucks and various firefighting equipment to several barangays across the city. The initiative aims to enhance the city's preparedness and quick response to disasters and emergencies, particularly in light of the increasing threats posed by natural and man-made calamities. Barangays that received that new equipment include Bambang, North Daanghari, Katuparan, Isrembo, Sembo, Pitogo, Pembo, as well as the Bureau of Fire Protection. The Taguig LGU emphasized that the newly deployed fire trucks will not only be used for extinguishing fires, but will also serve as a vital role in cleanup drives and other emergency operations. According to city officials, this move reflects their continued commitment to ensuring the safety and the resilience of Taguig residents through proactive and well-equipped emergency response system. This is Catherine Landicho for Eurotv News.
The International Criminal Court has convicted Sudanese militia leader Al-Muhammad Ali Abd al-Rahman of 27 counts of war crimes and crimes against humanity for his role in the Darfur conflict, marking a historic step towards justice 2 decades after the atrocities occurred. Son Santiago tells us more.
Beyond reasonable doubt of the crimes with which he has been charged. Its verdicts are unanimous. Stand up, please, Ali Muhammad Ali Abd.
2 decades after the United Nations Security Council referred the case to the International Criminal Court or ICC, the International Court has found a Sudanese militia commander guilty of war crimes and crimes against humanity committed during the brutal conflict in the nation's western region, Darfur. Based on the statement released by the ICC Office of the Prosecutor yesterday, ICC's Trial Chamber 1 unanimously convicted, beyond reasonable doubt, Ali Muhammad Ali Abd al-Rahman on 27 counts of war crimes and crimes against humanity. This is backed up by the claim of 81 witnesses and nearly 1,100 pieces of evidence submitted by the ICC prosecutors. Abd al-Rahman was particularly convicted on crimes against murder, torture, gender-based persecution and rape, and the forcible transfer of civilians. According to the court ruling between August 2003 and April 2004, Abd al-Rahman led the Janjaweed militia, a pro-government armed group that carried out systematic attacks on non-Arab villages in western Sudan. This said war erupted in 2003 when rebel groups accused Sudan's government of discrimination against non-Arab tribes. The government responded by mobilizing the Janjaweed militia, resulting in an estimated 300,000 deaths and the displacement of more than 2.5 million people according to UN. Presiding Judge Joanna Kerner said Abd al-Rahman directly ordered and personally participated in executions and mass killings during operations. Meanwhile, Deputy Prosecutor Nazat Shamim Khan called the verdict a powerful message that perpetrators of atrocities in Sudan will be held accountable. The court will determine his sentence after a new round of hearings in November as the prosecutors prepare the sentencing arguments. This is Son Santiago for Eurotv News.
Another milestone for Filipina tennis player Alex Yala as her World Tennis Association ranking climbs 4 spots. More stories in the world of sports with Kyle Basa.
The Filipino tennis star Alexandra Ayala has her world ranking boosted in the World Tennis Association or WTA. Previously, her world ranking was only number 58. Her current world ranking is now number 54. Despite the quarterfinals exit in the Suzhou Open and the early exit in Wuhan, there is no doubt that her skills are well deserved in her current rank. She will continue her Asian swing in the Japan Open, Guangzhou Open, and in Hong Kong. Japan Open will held in Osaka, Japan this October 13 to 19. This is a wonderful opportunity for the Filipino athletes to showcase their talents by having their own platform. The partnership of Philippine Sports Commission and Elite Link gave a huge opening for the athletes to let them be heard and seen. Through the Elite Link app, there is a high chance of being scouted and being an Olympian, as it holds so much exposure wherein scouts will see your performances and be interested in you. The database allows you to have a profile and be able to show your information, statistics, performances, and achievements. This is also for the young athletes who are striving and aspire to step into the big leagues. Even non-athletes can register to the app. This is Kyle Basa, reporting for Eurotv News.
Korean songwriter and singer Kim Yoon-jae will be releasing another song following her remarkable role as Rumi in K-pop Demon Hunters. Sam Martos has more.
Let's step into the world of entertainment for our showbiz news. In Another World, that's the title of the new song to be released by singer-songwriter Kim Yoon-jae this coming October 24. Singer-songwriter Kim Yoon-jae, also known as EJ, will be releasing a new song. On her social media account, EJ shared an image of a handwritten letter where she looked back on her journey as a songwriter. She explained that while she had written many songs, over the years she had yet to find the right home for them. The new song she will be releasing will be titled In Another World, which will soon to be available to listen to. And she also said that this is the song that she feels like the perfect beginning. EJ rose to fame as the voice behind the character Rumi in the hit animated film K-pop Demon Hunters, which helped cement her place in the K-pop and entertainment scene. Her new track In Another World will officially drop on October 24 and fans are eagerly waiting. And that's our entertainment news. Once again, I'm Sam Martos. Back to you, Alvin and KRIZZA.
Thanks, Sam Martos. And that's the latest news for tonight. You may visit eurotv.com for more news and information. Once again, I am KRIZZA Lopez.
You can also catch our live broadcast through our social media accounts and via an Extreme channel. I'm ALVIN PELOBELLO. Thanks for joining us. This is Eurotv News Thread. Stay safe and have a good night, everyone.